Now we're here with Matt Richmond and Leif Ramsey, graduates of Protege Chattanooga. Why don't you start us off by giving us an overview of what Protege Chattanooga is and how the program works?
Go ahead.
Protege Chattanooga brings young professionals together, and it allows us to learn from one another, and we get to learn from some of the best leaders in Chattanooga.
Now, this is a little bit different than a lot of Protege programs that are kind of one-on-one, right? Can you talk a little bit about how this one works, Leif?
Sure. This one's a little bit different in the sense of there's 8 proteges and there's 1 mentor. And I think the thing that's cool about it is we get this kind of like private 2-hour session with the mentor, and anything's up for grabs. It's kind of off the record, and we get to ask them about careers and, like sort of personal time efficiencies and like how do you connect with people in town and just kind of this variety of questions. Anything's up for grabs.
And I know all of the mentors were great, so we don't want to put anybody on the spot, but what the heck, let's do it. Who stands out in your mind? What's from your year? What mentor really lit your lights up?
I think each of us connected with different people, probably. For myself, I think one of the people that I learned the most from was actually Bernie Miller, and he's a church pastor, and he started this church. But the interesting thing about Bernie is he comes at it from a completely different direction than I've ever seen before. He comes from the record industry, and he worked with Michael Jackson. He was like the VP of that label that Michael Jackson was on, and he's taken that experience about data and like using data to make decisions from the record industry and applied it to his church. So he used census data to decide where he wanted to plant it. He surveyed thousands of households in that area once he had found it, in order to determine like what type of worship service and all kinds of things. And it's been really interesting to see his success. So that idea of maximizing and taking something from one industry, bringing it into another, and seeing what it does. So.
Matt, what about you? Anything stands out?
There's so many great leaders. I think Tom Griscom, to me, really stood out. Tom helped with communication for the Reagan administration, a number of really big companies, and just his insight into leadership. So much of leadership is about communication, and teaching us how to be effective communicators in small groups, and hearing his perspective on how he helped communicate even to a national audience. It was pretty amazing.
That's great. And what were some of the other mentors who were there, just to reel through them a little bit and give them some credit? Because you had some really big time people, didn't you?
Yeah, we had folks like Stephen Culp. He's an entrepreneur in this area. And Kim White from River City Company. She's, I think, the president and CEO of River City Company. And Matt, who were some of the others that we had?
We had Liddell McCullough with HHM, and we also we had Mary Stuart Lewis with AT&T, and she was fantastic. Michael Levovitz with CBL, and
Mike Walden the year before. It's been a really great list, and it's not hard to go out and find some very great, innovative people to talk to this group.
Mm-hmm.
And so, keeping that in mind, what was your favorite aspect? What was kind of your big takeaway from the program? And Matt, if you want to start on this one.
Yeah, what's so amazing about it is you see these great leaders from a distance, and they're doing so many amazing things. That we can come into this really intimate setting, as Leif said. Anything's on the table, and we can sit and learn from them. Because really, no leaders are self-made. I mean, we all stand on the shoulders of others, and so be able to be there and learn from these tremendous leaders, helped me personally, and then in our organization, and I think long term will help Chattanooga.
That's excellent. How about you, Leif? What was your big takeaway?
My big takeaway was access, and like sort of that it's easier than you think it is. And what I mean by that is like I felt like the mentors were very open to follow up afterwards. So I know, like, for instance, one of the other proteges, Tia Capps, like followed up with Tom Griscom and had like this like great 2-hour conversation afterward. And I followed up with Stephen Culp, and like I picked his brain, his business brain and his startup brain. I had this like a business idea that I wanted to run by him, and he took like an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and just like really dug into that idea with me. And it's the idea that like, these people might seem inaccessible, but all you have to do is ask. And like most of the time, they're happy to like share their insights with you.
Well, we're really excited at the Chamber about our affiliation with YPAC and about having this huge, 250 shot in the arm of young people in the community that want to give back to the community, want to learn from the community, and I think it's one of the most exciting things going on at the Chamber right now. And the Protege program is just kind of the icing on that cake. So.
And unfortunately, we have to go today, but we thank you both very much for joining us and sharing the information, and we'll be right back with Taking Care of Business right after the break.